All right, Joel Corey on Cowboys' upcoming contract extension says that the Cowboys, to save money, need to go ahead and sign Dak this summer, even though he had a down year in 2022. And we've discussed that before, and that's true of any quarterback. To save money, you should sign them earlier rather than later. That's always true because those those QB contracts are highly inflated and they keep going up. And we learned this from the first time. If they had signed Dak sooner rather than later, they would have saved possibly $15 million a year, if not more. They could have. There was reports that they could have signed him for $25 million a year rather than the close to 40 that he ended up getting. Now, the question is, knowing what you know about Dak as a quarterback, his age, where he's at with his contracts. Let's say that you could see into the future and you would say, Dak's going to perform similar to what he performed last year. He's going to get you maybe one playoff win, but ultimately he's not going to get you the conference championship. He's going to get you about 10 to 12 wins, 3,500 yards, 20 plus touchdowns, somewhere around that, right? But you're not going to make it to the championship round. Would you still sign him? Would you still re-up 3 to 5 years if you know that 2023 is going to look pretty much the same as 2022? Now, regardless of what happens, would you still re-up for another 3 to 5 years? I say no. Now, I want to see what he's going to do this year. I don't want to give him an extension this year. I want to wait. I want to roll the dice. I want to see what's going to happen. Now, ultimately, I think the Cowboys are going to sign him regardless of what happens because I just think they're committed to him. So, in that sense, they should just go ahead and do it this year if they're going to do it. But I want to see what's going to happen. I think the Cowboys have done a decent job this offseason of putting together a roster that's competitive, of setting up Dak and Mike McCarthy to be successful. So, I want to see what they can do with this roster. Now, ultimately, what I believe about quarterbacks is that you shouldn't keep re-upping them. Now, the argument that I've heard is, well, even though the quarterbacks aren't elites, if they're good enough or they're that in that second tier range, you sign them anyways because they help keep your franchise relevant and they keep you competitive. And hopefully, you roll the dice enough with a good quarterback, you get into the tournament, something might fall into place and you might win one with them. I just don't think that's a great way to build your roster. And I don't think that's actually, setting your team up for the most success if you know a quarterback's not elite to keep signing them to these huge contracts. I don't think that's the best way to build your roster. But I want to hear what you guys think. I don't know that the contracts come in the summer. Cowboys usually sign their quarterbacks around Easter time in April. They could do it if they're really committed to signing him and getting him at a cheaper deal, if that's even an option. We don't know if that's for real or if that's even possible. We do know that something has to be done next offseason for sure because of the cap hit that's coming, and it's the last remaining year on his contract. And they can't keep that contract hit the way it is. I think it's astronomical. I can't remember the exact figure. But this conference is wide open for the taking. The Cowboys need to see what this quarterback and this coaching staff is going to do with a conference that doesn't have a lot of elite quarterbacks in it right now. I mean, we're talking about Jalen Hurts being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's coming into year 4. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think and whether you want to see Dak signed sooner rather than later or even at all. All right, go Cowboys.